Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into my channel this week. Before I get started, I want to give a thanks to all the people who signed on and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate that. I'm always amazed and honored that somebody wants to sign up to my channel and listen to me talk. So yeah, thank you for that. What I wanted to talk about tonight was my letter that I wrote to my congressperson, which would be Val Demings, since I'm in Orlando, Florida. So I've been procrastinating about writing this letter. I follow a couple of people on YouTube pertaining to the UAP UFO phenomenon, like Dave from Space Out Radio, Richard Dolan, Linda Moon Howe, um, Jeremy Corbell, James Fox, and I know a couple of them, not all of them, had talked about writing to your congressperson about getting more transparency and openness on this subject. So that's what I did. So I typed up a nice little letter. Actually, I already dropped it in the mail. This is just a copy that I wanted to show you guys. So in the letter, I didn't go all crazy with everything. I didn't talk about abductions and people having downloads. I didn't put any of that stuff, and I just kept it simple. In the letter, I spoke about that we need to have more open and honest conversations about the UAP UFO phenomenon, about the UAP task force, about what the Pentagon studied during those years, I think from 2007 to 2012, even though they said it stopped, but we know they didn't stop. They might have just changed the name, but I'm pretty sure that program, to be honest, I know that program is still going. There's no way they stopped investigating unidentified aircrafts or objects flying into our space. But anyway, I put that into the report. I also stated how disappointed I was about the UAP report. They should have had more statistical data, more sightings and stuff in there. And I also wrote in there that I understand that we can't be told everything because of national security, but we deserve more of what that report showed us. After all, our tax dollars go into funding some of these projects, such as the UAP task force, the Pentagon program, and whatever black budget, black ops programs that there's have going on. So yeah, and I wrote it in there and I put it in the mail. So whether or not she reads it is on her. She probably won't read it. It's probably one of her aides is gonna read it. I really hope she does read it and reach out to me or reach out to her other representatives and they get the ball rolling. That we have more openness and honest conversation about this subject, and that we need to be told more, even if it's not good, it's not the best news. We definitely need more transparency on this subject. So yeah, that's pretty much what I put in the letter. You guys, I think you guys, any of you who haven't written to your congressperson probably should do so. I think that would be a good thing if we get a lot more letters and they're just the minds, because then they'll see it's a real push that the public wants to know more about what's going on, where our tax dollars are going, what is this phenomenon that they say they don't know. And of course a lot of people in the government don't know. I mean, they're not going to read everybody in Congress. Probably the majority of people in Congress don't know. The presidents probably don't know. I think Eisenhower may have known, and maybe JFK. But as far as the rest of them, nah, I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. But yeah, I think if more people write, um, maybe even if people show up at Washington to do a small protest, no violence, no violent protesting, just a small peaceful protest saying we want more transparency, more openness on this subject. Maybe we will have more talks about it in Congress, and they'll be more open with us in the public about what they've discovered or whatever. Oh, the other thing I wanted to share. I know a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, I talked to you guys about this book. So I actually finished reading the book. I actually finished reading the book a while ago, and it is a really good book. If you guys think the Roswell crash was the first modern documented crash by the military, yeah, you might think twice after reading this book. According to the book by Jacques Vallée and Paola Harris, there was another crash 2 years later in Los Alamos, I think this is Los Alamos, New Mexico. I'm pretty sure I got that right. But yeah, so highly suggest you guys read this book. It is really, really good book. So yeah. And another book that I picked up, and this is just a book on Fairies, Pukas, and Changelings. I found this book through Varla Ventura, who was a guest on Dave Radio on Spaced Out Radio. I haven't finished reading yet, but it's a really interesting book. I've always been interested in stories of fairies and elves and gnomes and trolls and stuff. And I think at some point, maybe in our history, maybe the human race was more connected with these beings. Maybe their realm, maybe collided with us. Maybe because we were more close to nature, I think, and we had more contact with these beings. Because a lot of these stories have to come from somewhere. I can't believe all these stories in these books are fake. And I think as humans became more dealing with technology, I think that's the right words I want to say. I think somewhere along the line we lost that connection with these beings. So yeah, I'm in the middle of the book, so when I finish it, I'll get back to you guys about it. I think that's about it. But yeah, highly suggest you read this book. Really, really read this book. It's incredible. And a lot of it does make sense. So especially when it comes to the Trinity test site and atomic testing and the splitting of the atoms and the atomic bomb that was dropped in 1945. So yeah. I think that's it all I have for now. I think once I'm done on here, I'm going to go onto the UFO National Reporting website and see what's been flying around in the skies lately, because I follow Richard Dolan a lot, and I was listening to him talk the other day, and he named a couple of sightings, and he was like, just go outside in the middle of the night, because a lot of people say they see these crafts or objects flying around at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning, which I'm always outside around that time, but I have yet to see anything. But a lot of these sightings say they happen around that time. So yeah, I'm going to go on to the UFO National Reporting website and take a look to see what is interesting in there. They suggest you guys do the same. That is it all. That's all I have for now. I'm going to think about what I want to talk about next week. Maybe when I finish reading my book about fairies, pukas, and changelings, I'll come back on and give you guys a review about it. But yeah, that's it. And don't forget to write to your congressperson about transparency about the UAP task force, the UAP report, just UFOs or UAP in general. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.